Hello everyone. If you or someone you know is in the grieving process or going to be in the grieving process of dealing with the passing of a loved one, there is a program that's out there available to you to help you understand and work through that process. It's called GriefShare, and it's offered through the Monument Bible Church here locally, and I have facilitators Belinda Holder and Brad Van Pelt with me today to tell us a little bit about the program. First of all, how long has GriefShare been around?
Well, the GriefShare program itself has been around for a lot of years. I actually went through it in 2011 here in Scottsbluff, but it was started long before that even. This is actually the 4th edition of the book, so they've been around a while. We've only been offering it about a year,
Okay.
and our 3rd session is coming up on February 24th.
Okay.
3rd cycle.
And let's talk specifically about the session that's coming up. How long does it last? What does it take to get people, if people are interested, getting registered?
It's typically 13 sessions. Each one of them is geared by a video, a group discussion of the video, and then they have a workbook that they work in each week. So there's 13 sessions of that. This is like you said, this will be our 3rd time of doing it. And I forgot your question.
It takes, this is a 13-week session. Getting through the grieving process, obviously it's different for everybody. It's different for everybody.
Exactly.
And it's coming to grips with, I guess, and acceptance of the situation with the passing of a loved one, and being able to work through those things and as much as possible resume a normal life, if you will, absent having that individual around.
Yeah, and that's one thing we emphasize, that every loss is different, and it affects even family members differently. So, it'll affect siblings differently if they lose their father or mother. So every journey is really unique. But there's material in GriefShare that helps anybody get through that process. And we don't want people to think that you come to GriefShare for 13 weeks and everything's great, because that's not true.
Yeah.
But it gives you tools to handle some of the pressure and depression and even the physical ailments that can come along if you don't deal with the grief that you're feeling.
And of course, there's a whole process that people have to go through to deal with grief. Again, as we had said, each unique to each individual. And we'll come back in just a moment with some more details on that, as well as a little bit of detail on how you can get registered or get the information to somebody who may be interested in the program in just a moment. And we're back, and we're talking about GriefShare, the program that's available here locally through Monument Bible Church. And it's intended to help people deal with and understand the process of grieving, the steps that the person goes through with the passing of a loved one. And we're talking with facilitators Belinda Holder and Brad Van Pelt. Again, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
As we had been saying earlier, this is an individual journey for each and every person. I can imagine, though, that there are certain commonalities to the grieving process, certain steps, acceptance, and the things such as that each person has to go through in their own time, obviously.
Yeah, and one of the things we talk about is almost everybody feels they can feel like they're losing their mind. And scatterbrained. There's a lot of very similar symptoms for everybody, and we just want to let people know that that's normal. You're not really going crazy. You're not losing your mind. And grief is a normal emotion.
Sure.
It's a normal process, but it's abnormal to us, especially when you lose someone you've been with for all of your life, basically, or your adult life, maybe in a married person's case. But it's like when a cloth is woven together and you tear it apart, there's going to be ragged edges.
Sure.
and you're never going to get the ragged edge fixed the way it was.
Of course.
So we can make it better.
Of course, yeah. And I can speak a little bit from personal experience with the passing of my mother last year and helping my father deal with that after having been married almost 60 years. You know, it's definitely a process that you have to go through. And I can imagine that going through a program such as this not only helps with understanding those grief processes, but there's also the fellowship of being able to talk to others who are in the same situation.
They do build a bond. It's like almost a family when they speak each week to one another. But there's so many emotions that go through. We actually do a little exercise. It's like a rubber ball, and putting all of their emotions, and I think there's like 300 different emotions that you can go through.
Wow.
And so the book actually deals with anger, and it deals with the why it happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and of course I can imagine that even out of those who participate in the program, do you end up having perhaps, as you had said, a tie that kind of binds them together after the course is passed, to where there are those friendships and relationships that do build up from something like this?
Yeah. And that's important because we can't be there all the time, but they'll hopefully find one or two or several friends in the group that they can continue to lean on from time to time.
So this is coming up, the next session, runs 13 weeks, 2 hours every session, every
Not
week.
2 hours.
And it's starting up here on the 24th. So if somebody is interested or knows somebody who may be interested in the program, how do they get signed up and registered to take part?
They can call Monument Bible Church at 308-632-4099, or they can go online to monumentbiblechurch.com.
Okay.
That's spelled out.
Okay. And are there any costs for taking part in the program?
There is a $20 fee for their workbook, but we don't want that to stop anyone. So.
Sure. Okay.
We have scholarships available.
Oh, scholarships are there. And I'm sure that if somebody's looking for a scholarship, the same contact information probably
Correct.
holds true as well. That is the GriefShare program that's available through the Monument Bible Church here locally, facilitated by local individuals such as Brad and Belinda to help you, your loved ones, somebody you may know, deal with the grieving process related to the passing of a loved one. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.